Please, y'all, can you send me all of the patience that you can spare because I am going to need it. So a little less than a year ago, I started talking here on YouTube and over on Patreon about my own journey to find my new service dog prospect. In fact, I was supposed to have a puppy this month when all of this got started. However, despite the fact that I bought a bunch of new chews and toys that I probably didn't need for the puppy that was supposed to come this year, I still only have 2 crates in my car and no new puppy. So let's talk about why and what it's really like to find a service dog prospect. Hi, I'm Laura from Doggy U, and I'm a certified guide dog mobility instructor, service dog trainer, and trick trainer. And most importantly for this video, I'm also a service dog handler myself. As my current service dog ages, I began to look seriously into breeders in October of 2022. I actually started out looking at spaniels, but after doing some research and visiting some breeders, I decided they weren't exactly the right fit for my service dog needs. That's when I started looking seriously at retrieving breeds. You can learn more about my recommended process for finding the right service dog prospect at the end of this video. Now, I've always had herding dogs in the home, so getting used to the idea that I was going to bring home a floppy-eared dog and finding the traits that I was looking for specifically in the retrieving breeds took a little bit of time. I also had some specific preferences related to size. Now, I've flown across the country with 90-pound German Shepherds multiple times, and I've also flown a lot with my personal Coolie, who's only 40 pounds. Can you guess which one is easier to fly with and more comfortable? Now, I fly relatively frequently because I live on the East Coast and my sister, who I visit quite often, lives on the West Coast. And while size is never a guarantee, I did want to find parents and offspring that were on the smaller side. I also had to find a breeder that was interested in selling to a prospective service dog home because not all breeders are interested in selling their dogs as service dog prospects. So after chatting with many breeders, I finally found one that matched my requirements and goals. And if you're interested in learning more about how to choose a breed and a breeder, definitely check out my Service Dog 101 course that goes through everything from how to pick a breed and breeder to how to create a task list, training timelines, service dog laws, and so much more. I'll put a link to that course down in the description below. So I hopped in my car and drove 22 hours to go down and visit the dogs. I had a pair in mind when I went down there, but I actually, after seeing the dogs and seeing them work and out in public, I decided on a different pairing. I filled out an application and put a deposit down in June of 2023. The female was supposed to go into heat around August, and with 4 months between gestation and development of the puppy before they go home, that brought the dog home around now, December. December is when I was first supposed to get the dog. But nature had other plans, and I spent months being as patient as I possibly could, which I'm not like super good at. Anyway, the female went into heat at the end of November. When I got the news, I was so ecstatic, so thrilled. And I'd have a puppy in the springtime around April, which is a really good time to raise a puppy in New England without having to potty train, over the winter. But unfortunately, through no fault of the breeder, the breeding to the original stud wasn't possible. And they ended up picking a different male to breed with this female. And that male just wasn't the right fit for what I was looking for. Super nice dog, just not what I was looking for. So I ended up pulling out of the litter, and it felt super devastating at the time, and I had a big sad about it. I'm not a particularly patient person, and I had already waited so long for this puppy. And not only that, I was basically starting from scratch trying to find another pairing that I was interested in. But that's the thing, right? Nothing in life is guaranteed, especially when we're talking about Mother Nature. Stuff happens. So you can have a deposit down on a litter, but the breeding might not happen, or it might not take, or the litter might be really small, or there might not be a puppy that's a good fit for your home in that litter. And that's why it's so important to start your search for your next service dog early. And hey y'all, before I tell you what's next in my puppy search, I would love it if you could head on down and show your support by booping that like button. Doing so helps others find the channel, which ultimately helps grow the channel, which allows me to bring you even more awesome content in 2024. Okay, so now that I made peace with the fact that I wasn't going to be getting a puppy when I originally thought I would, I had a couple options. So the first was I could have stuck with the original litter with the new stud, and it probably would have turned out just fine. However, getting a dog is a 12 to 15 year commitment, and I really wanted to get exactly what I was looking for. Now, if I wasn't so picky, there are a ton of wonderful retriever breeders, and I'm sure I could get a puppy in the spring. But I'm not just looking for a puppy, I'm looking for the right puppy with a breeder that I can build a relationship with. So what are my other options? What does that all mean? Well, I have a few different pairings that I'm looking at, and it's going to start with me visiting at least the females of those pairings in the beginning of 2024. And that's no easy task. It means that I am going to have to travel because most of them aren't local to me. That also means that based on the timing of when the females are going to go into heat next, I likely won't have a puppy until the second half of 2024. And I'm not gonna lie, that sucks. And also, it's the right decision for me. I can be patient. I can quell the puppy fever and, decide to take my long-term interest into higher account than my short-term interests. Or at least that's what I'll be telling myself over and over and over again until the puppy comes, I guess. But it also means that I'll not only have time to finish up my newest course on training service dog behavior interruptions and alerts, but also to create more courses. I'll also be able to prep my puppy courses, and then when the new puppy comes, I'll be able to video and then really quickly fire out those courses to you. It also gives me time to grow and develop the channel even further. I have some really cool things planned for 2024, including more in-depth training tutorials of my best solutions for training neutrality and building a confident dog, and some really awesome deep dives over on Patreon, including one on mastering the human mechanics that you need so that you can be a better trainer for your dog. That's coming out in January. I'm also going to be bringing some new voices to the channel from trainers that I love that are going to teach you on topics that I might not be a specialist in, other types of service dog work, canine conditioning, and other awesome trainers so that you can learn from them as well. So here's to a new year, and also to patience. If you have any to spare, please send it my way, because I'm going to need it. And in the meantime, check out this video on finding a service dog prospect that's gonna go way more in depth about my process for finding my next service dog that you can use too. You can click on it here. You all have an awesome day and happy training.